what I mean, dude. Like I had like good parents. People were always like, John, you're so like trusting and accepting and loving. And it's like, yeah. It's like you guys probably should be.
Yeah.
It's just your parents were mean to you. It's like somehow I'm the freak here because my parents were nice to me. That's what's weird about it. It's funny. Like, how am I the freak?
Family brings joy. It's childhood destroyed. Hey, it's Tammy's boy. Tammy's boy. Tammy's boy. Hey, it's Tammy's boy.
Tammy's Boy Podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. Jon Carden is not a licensed therapist. He is just a friend.
Hey, everybody. Welcome on in. How you doing, boys and girls? You know me. I'm Tammy's Boy, and this is the Tammy's Boy Podcast. I do this podcast because I had a mom that tried to sleep with one of my friends at my second wedding. So I know a thing or two about parents. What do we got going on today, Colt?
Boys and girls, I'm happy to be here as always. We got a great episode for you today. The full video is going to be available on YouTube and Spotify. It's also going to be out there on a bunch of other podcast listening platforms. If you don't like watching it, I think you should because I think it looks pretty good, but that's just me. Guys, we can't do this without you. Like I said, please make sure you go like, comment, subscribe wherever you're watching it. John, tell the people who we got on the couch today.
Well, boys and girls, we have a good friend of mine, a regular at the mothership, a very handsome fellow. We've done the road together.
We have.
If you want to call Houston the road.
Yeah.
And I love him to death. It's John Hoeft, everybody. Oh, man. How you doing, buddy? You good?
I'm chilling, dude. I keep fucking leaning back, and there's a surprising bump right here.
You can put a pillow behind you if you want to put a pillow behind you.
Dude, let's go.
Look at that, dude. Comfort.
Now I'm way too comfortable. I can't take myself seriously like that. No, I'm doing good, bro. I've just been chilling, man. Doing fucking jack shit. Got the day off.
Yeah? How's your project going that you were working on?
Which
Sketches?
project? Oh, the sketches. Wait, what do you mean? The ones I've been shooting with Adam in them? Or?
Yeah.
Those, we have not done one in weeks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how it is with comedy, dude.
Yeah.
You get dead set on something and you're like, this is it. We're going to find, this is how the career is we're going to make it with this. And then you do it for 3 weeks. And then you're like, nah.
Yeah, see, that's why we did a bunch of episodes at once.
So we're at week 4 right now.
Yeah, so that we can like
that's good.
We can like delusion ourselves into thinking it's going to be successful before we put it out.
Yeah, dude, that works well. You gotta stick to it.
We always start this off really simply, Bubba, and it's a simple question. We ask it to every guest, and you never know where it goes. But it's who raised you?
My parents.
Yeah,
my mom and my dad. They're still married.
I love that. We've had so many different things on the like. Joe Begley's parents are still married.
That makes sense.
It does, right?
That boy's too confident to have divorced parents.
Yeah,
he, like,
his mom's like an ultra marathon runner too.
Yeah. He believes in love and
He's
stuff.
like the definition of Clarence from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clarence's parents had a real good marriage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I freaking love Joe Begley and his weirdly tiny little nips, but
he does have tiny.
He has the tiniest little nips in the world. But yeah, no, I got still married parents. They're doing well.
What's your earliest memory with your parents?
Whoa, dude, I don't even know, honestly. It's hard to I feel like it's hard to go like all the way back to what the earliest memory is.
The first thing that jumps out at you from your childhood. Like the one of those moments where it's like for me, I remember my mom giving me M&Ms to teach me how to pee in a toilet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My earliest memory that comes to mind right off the bat doesn't go all the way that far back. But it's like, it's only like when I was like 10 or 11. This is the first one that pops into head. And it was Christmas. And all my friends had gotten Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And I wanted Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 really badly. And my dad handed me this one gift wrapped up, and he was so excited about it. And I opened it up, and he had gotten me Call of Duty 3.
Oh, no.
And he was so pumped. And seeing my dad, how excited my dad was, and I love my dad, I didn't want to
disappoint him.
So I was like, oh, this is awesome. And he goes, that's the right one, right? And I was like, well, no, but I'm very excited about this. And then he was like, He was bummed out, and he goes, "Come on, go get in the car," and he took me right to Best Buy and bought me the right one.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's a good dad.
Yeah, that's the one, Call of Duty 3. And I actually ended up playing this game kind of like crazy because it's honestly, old Call of Duties like this are way better than
they're
the
way
new
better.
ones, dude.
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
way
like
better.
running through like World War II type shit. That's way more fun.
I played the shit out of this game, and
Oh,
actually
yeah.
for Christmas, funny enough, an aunt, I said I wanted Call of Duty 3, and I wanted this one, and then she gave me Modern Warfare 3, and I was like a little kid, you know, and I was like, I don't want this one. I wanted that Call of Duty 3, and then I never got to experience the OG Modern Warfares because I was a little bitch.
I feel so old right now because Modern Warfare 1 came out when I was actively serving in the military.
That must have been fun.
It was. It really was.
I mean,
not even
you're
gonna lie.
like
It really
playing
was.
a
It was
video
like,
game of what you're doing.
yeah, it was like a training simulator.
Modern Warfare, it's like you're in. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Was your dad a vet?
No.
What did he do?
My dad grew up in Iowa, and he went to Iowa State University.
Dude, you look like your dad grew up in Iowa.
I'm a corn-fed boy.
You really are, man.
I'm a corn-fed boy. No, he worked in like the food distribution industry for a long time, I think.
Okay.
Worked at, like Cisco and stuff for a long time. And then he got like a job. I don't know. He works like, I don't think he'd want me to talk about it. It's not like it's not like a secret or anything, like a cool thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just think my dad's probably gonna, because here's the thing about my parents, they're very supportive. They're gonna listen to this.
Yeah.
100%. Anytime there's a new podcast episode that I'm in, my dad will listen to it and then call me and be like, you said some pretty funny stuff.
What about your mom? What did she do?
My mom's a teacher. My mom is a special education teacher, has been
wow.
forever. When I was a kid, she didn't work for a while, but then had to. And then she was a substitute teacher throughout most of my years in school. And then when I was like almost going to graduate high school, she just became a full-blown special ed teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's been doing that for like
Were they hard on
10
you
years.
at school? Like, were they like,
Yeah, definitely. They wanted me to do well, you know.
did you?
No. No, not at all. No. I tried to do well, but I just didn't care that much.
What kind of stuff did they do to try to get you to do well?
I mean, I was very susceptible to guilt from an early age.
Okay.
And
they
also
knew that?
I they were good. This is the funny thing is like I had like I'm really realizing as I get older, like most people had not good parents.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like whenever I'm like, well, I just wanted to make them happy by doing well. People are like, well, they didn't like there was no incentives or anything. It's
No,
like,
I was just, you
I
want your
just
parents to love
genuinely, yeah. Well, I knew they loved me. I just wanted to do good because they wanted me to do good.
you. You wanted them to be proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also my it was also just like pressure of like they were worried that my family didn't have a ton of money, so they were like, we don't want you to not have a ton of money forever.
Yeah.
And then I told them whenever I graduated high school that I wanted to do theater and comedy, and they were like, fuck.
Yeah, you're going to be broke,
God
bro.
damn it. We tried to get you away from that. No, they're actually really supportive of it, like right away.
That's sweet.
My dad convinced me to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did
Because
your dad go with you to like the first open mic?
No, my first open mic ever was I was in high school. I was trying to convince my friends came with me. I was trying to convince my other friend to do comedy because he was funnier.
Huh.
And I was
And
like,
you
you
ended
should
up
do
doing
it. And then he was too scared, and I signed up.
Wow.
And then I was like, this is fun, and I just liked performing. No, when I was gonna go to college, my dad asked me. He was like, "What is what's your major? Like, what are you gonna major in?" And I was like, "I don't know, probably like business or some shit, you know."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, what do you want to major in?" And I was like, "If I had to pick anything, theater." And he was like, "Then do that." He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Well, there's no money in it." And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "Don't worry about that shit. Just like do what you want."
That's cool, man.
And
That's cool. Do you trust your parents?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's a rare thing.
Yeah.
That you'll find. It's like having absolute trust in your parental unit.
Yeah, dude, I can't imagine not because there's no one, because the world is cold.
Yeah.
I've been trying to work on a joke about this, how it's like having good parents fucks you up because they just love you so efficiently. And then you go out into the world and you're like, surely everyone's going to treat me this way. And nobody does.
It's like Elf.
Nobody treats you that well.
Elf.
dude.
You're trying to hug raccoons.
Yeah, you like walk out and you're like, all right, yeah, the world's going to be this way towards me. And no, not at all. Most people are mean. Most people are mean and don't care about you.
Oh, man.
Figure that one out. It's like there is no, it's made me realize like I really don't think parents can do like, I just don't think they can be perfect.
No, it's impossible.
Even when they do a good job at like the
No.
world around you is so fucked up that it'll still fuck you up somehow.
Well, I say it all the time on this podcast. It's one of the things I probably say the most is that being a parent is one of the hardest jobs in the world, and you only get 2 examples. It's like any other job, any other thing you have to do in life. There's 5 million different examples to draw from. Most of the time,
There's classes and shit.
yeah, most of the time with parents, you get the examples of which you were raised.
Yeah. And then also there's just like your own personal beliefs and other people's beliefs on how to parent don't line up with your beliefs on how to parent. So you can't like necessarily just, there's no one through line way of doing it.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they're right and everybody's fucking wrong.
Yeah, there's people that believe in co-sleeping, and there's people that believe in fucking.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
What about when you were younger? Like, you went to school here, right? So, like, most of your childhood was spent here.
Yeah, I grew up in Cedar Park, Texas, which is 25 minutes. It's maybe 20 minutes north from here.
Yeah, not even.
Not far at all.
I go to the Canes there.
I went to the Vista Ridge High School.
Oh,
out there.
wow.
Yeah.
Pride of Vista Ridge.
Pride of Vista Ridge. I'm actually not. A kid a grade below me got famous, and it's pissing me off.
Who was it?
Shout out Dylan Gossett, country singer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he went to my high school, and he got famous first, which is gay. I don't like that. It's not cool. It's kind of supposed to be my thing, but
Yeah, but you might win in the long run.
he's doing pretty good.
He could be a one. He could
He's-
be a one-hit wonder, dude.
He's doing ACL this year.
Oh, never mind.
He's literally performing at ACL, the music festival we all went to in high school. But no, I mean, dude, that's actually really cool. Yeah, he's blowing up, which is fucking cool. But yeah, Vista Ridge High School, Henry Middle School, Cedar Park, Texas, baby.
What's something that you absolutely love about your mom?
About my mom.
Something that she do, like you feel like she always does right.
She's just like, my mom is such like a fixer in a way where it's like, if you need anything, like she's on it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she'll like get it done and prioritize it number one. And she always, you can just tell she just cares. She just cares a lot. She like makes it known, and she cares about like other people so much. She's like, just like a heavy people pleaser, but mostly about just us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and my mom, she really goes to bat for us, dude. Like, there's been so many times like where my mom's so nice, but the minute anyone's mean, like my mom will just be like, "Fuck that person." Like immediately, the way she turns around, and you're like, "Yo, that's crazy. I didn't see that coming from you at all." But she's always like, yeah, she's always going to bat for us, man.
Do they have any hobbies?
My parents,
Yeah.
dude, they just go, dude, legit. My parents are like fucking hippies, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they just like go to breweries with their friends and like listen to like local bands. My dad is on a flight back from Ireland right now.
Oh, really?
He went to Ireland to see the Iowa State game. Yeah.
He's a big Iowa State fan.
Yeah, I mean, he went there. Him and his brother went there with all their friends from college.
So you probably grew up Cyclones merch all over.
Cyclones merch all over. My dad is the weirdest sports fans in the world. Iowa State, Cyclones fan, Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Chicago Cubs fan.
I don't know if that is weird. I would say that those are edgy teams. Like those are like hard-nosed,
Yeah.
like blue-collar teams. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
My mom went to A&M, so she's a part of the A&M cult forever.
Oh, wow. 12th man.
Yeah, my mom's a diehard Aggie, dude.
Is football season big in your house?
Yeah, for my dad. My dad has had like, my mom doesn't care at all, but my dad loves it, and so it's always on. This last year was my first year doing fantasy,
Okay.
and he was so stoked because I was talking to him about football for like the first time ever, all the time, because he was raised.
Finally, my son's not gay anymore.
Yeah, he raised this theater kid, you know, this full blown theater kid. He was so stoked
Yeah.
to just get to like talk football, and I was like naming people, and he was like, I've waited so long.
He's happy to hear you say
talk,
3,
yeah.
4, and not 1, 2 in front of it.
Yeah.
That's a deep football reference. That's a defense, by the way. It's a 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
That means there's 3 linemen and 4 linebackers. Now you're caught up.
Yeah.
But that was the joke.
And I'm learning. I'm still learning.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah,
You have
big football
siblings?
household. I played football when I was younger, and I was obsessed with sports when I was a kid. Absolutely obsessed with sports. But when it came to football, until I was maybe a junior in high school, I think I was like 5'2" to 5'4" until I was like 15. And so when I was in middle school, kids were, like 12, 13, already starting to hit growth spurts, getting big. I would just get absolutely floored on the football field, bro. I would just get leveled, and I just didn't like getting hit, and I was like total pussy about it. And then I just didn't have fun with it, so I quit going into high school. I didn't play in high school, and I swam. I was a swimmer for 11 years.
Really?
Yeah, competitive. It was very good.
What did you like rank any? Like, did you like any medals?
Not like in any like national championships or anything, but like on the high school level, I was varsity my freshman year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my coach never let me get a Letterman jacket because she didn't like me.
What happened with your coach?
She was a bad coach. She was a bad coach. She didn't care.
It's vague.
And she was frustrating. And I was an ADHD kid. She had no idea how to handle me.
Okay.
This is this kid that couldn't sit still or pay attention and just wanted to like mess around. And
in her defense,
truly didn't
very
care that
few
much.
Do. You know what I mean? Very
Yeah.
few know how to handle the heft.
No, nobody gets it, dude. Nobody understands. But it's like this is a pretty fun story. This is the only like really rebellious thing I did in high school. I never rebelled. That's a big thing. My parents, like I said,
You were always just like a good boy.
I was a very good boy. I never rebelled. I didn't like getting in trouble, and I didn't like lying to my parents. I always felt very bad about it.
It's one of the things I do love about you is that you do have this sense of integrity, and I've always kind of noticed that. Like I've been friends with you for a while now. I've never seen you say anything behind somebody's back that you wouldn't also say directly to their face.
I do not like lying to people. It makes me feel bad, and I'm not good at keeping secrets. So you have to be honest when you're not good at keeping secrets. I don't know if it's coming from a place of like goodwill as much as it is just inability to keep my mouth shut. Yeah. And learning to adapt and work with that. But yeah, no, I never. So I didn't rebel too much in high school. And when I did get in trouble, I cried so fast. Dude, I cried so fast when I would get in trouble. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that you just turn on the waterworks, or would you get legitimately upset?
I would just legitimately get upset. I just didn't know how to handle it. I had no idea how to handle it because I was convinced like any amount of trouble was the end of my life.
Do you think you have problems with failure today because of that? Like accepting failure?
No, I still think I have trouble with accepting trouble. Like if people are mad at me or upset with me, it's still like
you get really anxious.
I never got to go through that period. I wish if I could go back to high school, I would like get arrested like once. And just like have it be like, oh yeah, this doesn't really matter at all. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I faced trouble and I came out of it and now I'm still where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? And just be like, it's okay. I never did any of that. I was too afraid to face any trouble.
You want more like real world experience so that you could have more resilience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose so. But so this thing in high school, my coach.
Let's just go to Thailand. I'll get you arrested.
Dude, Thailand, I feel like
a Thai prison. I don't think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the one I want to try.
Just a little.
That
bit.
is something my dad has been saying. My dad wishes he was like. He was telling me that he was like, Thailand's so cheap. He's like, your mom and I could live like fucking kings and queens over there.
I have
like
thought
royalty.
about it. I have thought about it many times.
And
if I didn't have kids.
Yeah, I think they're pretty. I mean, I think if he could do it, I think my dad would just be like, we're moving to Thailand, and just like because you can live so good.
It's
off
crazy.
The money they make right now, it's like insane.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that has like a 2-bedroom apartment on the beach in Thailand, and it's $1,200 a month.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all amenity, like everything paid for. It's $1,200 flat.
That's unbelievable.
Right on the beach.
Wow.
It's great unless tsunami happens.
Yeah, and also you're in Thailand.
Dude, I eat a lot of Thai food.
Yeah, but I don't want to eat Thai food all the time.
I could.
I couldn't.
I could eat Thai food. I could eat a different Thai dish every day.
Dude, you know, I'm cursed, dude, because it's like I kind of need Raising Cane's.
You got to have chicken tenders?
I need my tendies. I need my cheeseburgers, you know. I need all of it, dude. When I went to Europe last year, like I had 3 cheeseburgers in a week in Europe. I like found them and still had them. And it's like that's how set in my ways I am.
I found them.
I found them and I had them. I went to German McDonald's, dude. German McDonald's was awesome. They have way better stuff.
Can your mom cook?
McDonald's. No, my dad's the cook.
Your dad's the cook?
Yeah, my dad's the cook. My mom can't cook. My mom, the one thing my mom makes, and this is fucking awesome, and I think my dad makes it now, but he gets pissed because we still say it's my mom's, is she makes this pound cake, dude, that she'll make it for my birthday every year because it's my favorite thing ever, and it's fucking unreal, bro. It's like legitimately unbelievable. The best part is like the top part of it, like, is the best. So one year I think on my 18th birthday, my mom, I think it was my mom cooked it. She cooked 2.
Yeah.
And then just cut off the top and then stacked those. And then that was the cake she served. Because that was the most moist and like tastiest part.
Dude.
Yeah.
The thought, like with my childhood, okay, the thought of a parent baking your special dish every year for your birthday is so foreign to me
Yeah.
that like literally like my heart warmed when you
Dude.
said that. Like I literally,
Swear my mom's the
I got like the
absolute goat.
warm and fuzzies.
My mom will like break her back to just make our lives easier. It's insane.
And more special, right? Because it seems like
Yeah.
that's a big thing. She wants it to be special.
Absolutely. When I was in school, in high school, my mom used to, what she would do to wake me up and get me going, because she would have to go to work before I would leave for school.
Okay.
And so what she would do is she would come and wake me up out of my room and then move me downstairs to the couch, turn on a TV show and let me go back to sleep while she was finishing getting ready. And then she would wake me up before she left. So then I got to sleep another hour before I had to go anywhere. She would do that every day.
My mom poured a freezing bucket of water on my head
Yeah.
to wake me up 5 minutes before the bus got there.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, 50 minutes before the bus got there. Like,
Yeah.
my childhood was different. And
Well, dude, I mean, it's like, my
that's
mom.
so sweet.
Yeah, my mom is lovely. She can definitely, both my parents are very capable of being mean.
Yeah.
But other than that, they were like, they were pretty chill. They were pretty cool. That's what I mean, dude. Like, I had like good parents. People were always like, John, you're so like trusting and accepting and loving. And it's like, yeah. It's like, you guys probably should be.
Yeah.
It's just your parents were mean to you. It's like, somehow I'm the freak here because my parents were nice to me. That's what's weird about it. It's
funny.
like, how am I the freak?
I know it's like that. But you got to think about the industry we're in too. Where you're literally on the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I the real boy?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, that's where the disconnect was, because I had a really good family and parent situation. I got it from the other kids at school. I got picked on a lot.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up doing this shit.
I got picked on too. And I don't know if that's how I ended up doing this. I don't know what really brought me here.
I think we like attention.
Yeah. You know that Rascal Flatts song? God bless the broken road.
I honestly, I'm not entirely sure they have more than Life is a Highway.
Wait, you never heard God Bless the Broken Road?
I've only ever heard Life is a Highway by the
Have you
Rascal Flatts.
Have you ever been to a second wedding?
No.
Like somebody's second marriage?
No, I've only been to 2 weddings in my life.
Oh, wow.
2 weddings.
I've been to a bunch of second and third weddings.
Yeah.
And at every one of them, God Bless the Broken Road plays every single one. It is the perfect divorcee song. Because could you pull up the lyrics, Bubba? For me, this is hilarious because they didn't intend for this. Like when they wrote this song, they didn't know that everybody on their third marriage, this was going to be their marriage song. I set out on an airway many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road, but I got lost a time or two, wiped my brow, kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. I hit a lot of bumps.
I like that it says a time or 2, so this also works for a third wedding.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It is the perfect song.
Third wedding is funny. It's funny to go through 2 and be like, this is third time's the charm.
Buddy, my mom's third
Let's spend
wedding.
a bunch of money on this one.
My mom's third wedding was at a church in bumfuck Carolina in the middle of nowhere. And they played Luther Vandross, Here and Now. Here and Now. Okay. They played the full version. That's a 6-minute song. My mom walked down the aisle for like maybe 11 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a short aisle. And then they just stood there at the altar for 6 minutes while Luther Vandross played. Nobody at any point was like, hey, cut it. They're like, yo, we need to hear the entire song.
Dude, I've only been to 2. In my adult life, I've only been to 2 weddings, and they were both for friends.
Yeah?
First weddings.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah, one day.
You want
But
kids?
One day, yeah.
Yeah?
I'd like to have a family at some point. It sounds fun.
I feel like you
But-
would be a good family man.
I think I would like to be, but I don't know, dude. I've been it still feels like a little ways away.
What's something you could name your son that would disappoint your dad? Pippin?
Anything, if I said I named anybody because of an Iowa Hawkeyes player.
Oh, like George Kittle?
Yeah, like anything to be like, oh, it's because of him because he went to Iowa, not Iowa State. My dad would be like, why are you doing this?
You name your daughter Clark after Caitlin, or your son Clark after Caitlin Clark?
Yeah,
That would be funny.
it would be because that is that my dad hates the Iowa Hawkeyes with a fucking passion.
I'm going through all my sports knowledge right now, trying to think of all the names.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Iowa Hawkeyes.
That is the only thing I think that would be easy, or just something dumb. I think my dad would, for me, be like, if I named my kid something dumb, he'd be like, "Dude, come on, what are you thinking?"
Dude, I met a lady a couple months ago that named her son Dumbledore.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom would tell me stories. My mom for a while worked in for the CPS, Child Protective Services, when she was in her 20s, and she would tell me like the names some of these kids had, and she told me like one kid like that she picked up was named Marijuana, and another one was named Absidy, ABCDE.
Oh, wow.
That's how the name was spelled,
In-
ABCDE.
In my
Absidy.
school, we had two kids. There was a bunch of kids. It was like a whole family. The Clarks, there was Special Clark Today, but it was spelled Tudae. There was Rain, and there was Spring.
Jesus.
Yeah, Special was the one in my class.
See, my parents are like, they're not like hippies like that. My parents are just chilling right now, dude. They both have, my parents have more tattoos than I do. They both have like 6 tattoos now each. I only have 1.
Have you taken your parents to the tattoo parlor at all? Did you go with
No,
them?
they've just kind of gone, and then they'll like text us and be like, "What do you think of these?" And they got such parent tattoos. Like my dad has
Yeah.
like the Iowa State Cyclone logo right here, and then you know that clothing brand, the Howler Brothers. He has their logo on his neck because he really likes their clothes. My mom has like flowers and shit.
Your dad got branded?
Yeah, and he's stoked about it.
He's a billboard.
Dude, it's pretty fire actually. It's like such a baller move to just be like, yeah, I really like these clothes.
Yeah, me getting the like Lacoste alligator on my chest.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, they both have that, and then they just they just chill out now, man. My dad smokes weed like every day, and just
Do you
chills.
smoke weed with dad?
No, man, it's too weird.
Yeah.
He'll like invite me to, but it's like, dude, I don't want to be high with you. This is weird. I don't want to be in an altered state around my parents. Even drunk, I don't like. My parents, so here's a good thing my parents
You
did.
seem to have a high standard for yourself when it comes to your parents. Like you definitely like want to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, my parents did a good thing when I was growing up. They didn't drink around us at all
Yeah, I don't drink around my kids.
until my dad doesn't drink still. He's drinking in Ireland this week though.
I bet.
Oh, this is just a fun little side note. My dad went to Ireland and then bought us all stuff from there, and it's literally all just Guinness merch. Like he didn't buy anything like specific to Dublin or anything. It's just everything. He's just like, I got this Guinness T-shirt for your mom. I got you a Guinness hoodie. I got me a Guinness hoodie. And then your sister's these Guinness keychains. And it's like, what? Like it's all Guinness based. But
Could have gone through the Bushmills factory.
it's so funny. I love it. I mean, I'm excited. The hoodie's fucking sweet, dude. You'll see me wearing that all the damn time this winter. But no, yeah, dude, they didn't drink around us at all. So I didn't have my first drink until I was 18, and I would like hang out with my friends all through high school while they were drinking. I just wanted to drink.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there was no like learned behavior around it. And so yeah, they just they didn't drink at all. And so then it's just a weird thing to like, I don't know. It's just odd to be in like an altered state around your parents.
Was that
It just
easy
feels
for
weird.
you? Like because of that? Because they didn't drink around you? Was it easy not to drink when you were?
Yeah. I mean, it just like wasn't, I never saw it outside of like seeing my friends do it. And then when I saw my friends do it, like I just didn't want to because like I said, I was a real goody two shoes. So if like my parents said I shouldn't do something, I like didn't.
But I think that goes back to the absolute trust you have in your parents. Like it seems like they've never betrayed you.
No.
That's
no, I can't
beautiful.
even imagine that.
That's such a cool thing, man. It's like
Yeah.
If you should show appreciation for anything that I've learned, through this podcast, how many episodes we in now? This is 20 or something?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's appreciate that for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I can't even imagine anything that would count as a betrayal by a parent.
Well, I mean, I used to tell my mom stuff like that I would mess up, and I would try to be honest about my actions and stuff I did. Like the first time I smoked weed, I told my mom.
Yeah.
And the second it became useful for her to weaponize that against me, using a stepdad or what a manipulation, whatever it may be, it got used.
Yeah.
So there was no being vulnerable with my mother.
No, we didn't have that really. My mom, one thing my mom would do that my dad couldn't stand was my mom couldn't stick to a punishment.
Okay.
So I would tell on myself a lot. I was also the same. My grandma one time told me to stop. She's like, you need to stop telling on yourself. Just like, don't tell your parents some things. Because I would just tell on myself for everything I did. Because I just can't handle guilt at all, dude. I have no capacity for it. I just can't handle it or keep it in.
Is that tough for you in relationships?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because then I feel I'm like probably overly communicative about things that are just starting fights for no reason. But and so I would always tell myself, but then my mom would always ground me. She'd be like, "You're grounded for 2 weeks, no friends, no phone. You're staying in here, no TV. You're staying in your room." And then like the next day, I'd be like, "Hey, Mom, my friends invited me out," and she'd be like, "Go have fun."
That's a cool mom.
So that's the thing though, is that it's like I never really did anything to get in a lot of trouble, but I also, when I did get in trouble, there wasn't too many consequences for my actions.
So you never got punished?
Not bad. If my dad found out, he'd get really mad, and then I would actually get in trouble. But it was like,
what was the worst punishment you got growing up?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe like a 2-week grounding. Wow. That's it. I really don't think there was anything that bad. Like I said though, I wasn't really doing anything that bad. Like I never really got in trouble. I think that was because I got detention one time in school, and so like they like were really mad at me. But then other than that, dude, I stayed out of trouble pretty much. And my parents, because of that, my parents trusted me. Like when I was 16, I would be like out with my friends at like 3 a.m. every night. And because they knew I wasn't getting up to any trouble, and I really wasn't. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing drugs. I wasn't drinking. Me and my friends all through high school would go to like playgrounds, and we would hang out, and we would play a game that we had on the playground called Groundies.
Yeah? This is what you did all the time?
We just did that every night, yeah. And we would go to Whataburger at like 11 and get honey butter chicken biscuits.
Honey butter chicken biscuits.
Yeah, and that was my high school experience. I remember when I graduated high school, I asked I remember like being in line, and I just said to somebody else that had been in my grade that was graduating with me, and I was like, man, why didn't we ever have any of those like big like super bad style parties, like Project X type parties? And they were like, we did. And I was like,
you just didn't go.
I just didn't hear it. I just didn't get invited to any of them. I just didn't go. Because once I got ingrained with the theater kids, I just hung out with the theater kids all the time.
Yeah.
And then my senior year was the first time I started drinking and smoking weed. And then even then, whenever I had I remember my mom one time, oh, dude, this was actually so fucking lame that my friend did this to me. So it was like during my freshman year of college, it was like summer break. So my parents were still really not cool with weed at that time,
Okay.
I'm 18, and I was like back on like maybe winter break, and I hung out with a friend of mine from high school, and we smoked weed. And then right after we smoked, he was like, dude, I have to go take care of something. I got to take you home. And I was like, what? Like, don't do that. And he was like, I have to. And I was like, no, you really don't. Like, I'll go with you. Like, what are you fucking talking about? And he was like, no, bro, I'm sorry. So he just took me home. So I'm like way too high. I know my parents don't like this, and I'm like freaking the fuck out. And I was like, dude, I'm going to walk in and go right upstairs, which is the most suspect activity, to just walk in and not say a word and just walk right upstairs. So I tried to do that. My parents were like, John, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just going to go up to my room. And they were like, no, come down. We're watching, they were watching like Psych, which was a show we would always watch together.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, and so then I came, and I remember I just laid down on the couch, and I got a blanket, and I pulled it up to my face, and I'm lying like this way. My mom's sitting like over here where you are, and I like lie down, and I'm doing this, and I go down, and I look over at my mom, and she's fully looking at me like this.
She knows.
Like she knows.
She knows.
And she's like, okay, John, did you, you want to tell me something? And I was like, no. And she goes, are you high right now? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just tired. And she was like, so you're not high? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just lying there. I'm freaking out. And she's like, okay. And we just go back to watching TV. 3 hours pass. I'm just literally just lying there, like not talking or moving. And then finally she's going to go to bed and she goes, okay, I want you to be I'm going to give you one last chance to be honest with me. Are you high? Were you high earlier? And I was like, no, I wasn't, Mom. Sorry. I was just in a weird mood. And she was like, okay, I believe you. And then she just went upstairs.
Did you go telling yourself?
I did not tell myself. By 18, I learned to stop doing that.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, and I got away with it. And then years later, my mom's texting me going like, hey, your dad needs more weed. Can you buy some from your buddy and bring it over?
That's crazy. What a turn.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
What a turn, man. I used to smoke weed with Tammy when I got to work at Subway.
What spun it out was, so my uncle, who was actually just in Ireland with my dad, my uncle had cancer in his jaw. And he had to get all this surgery and stuff. And he was in a lot of pain. And he didn't want to do opiates because of like the addictive, properties of it. And so he started, the doctor was able to like, because of like the way the laws were at the time, he was legally able to have weed.
Yeah.
He was able to have it. He couldn't like get it anywhere in Texas, but like if he had it, he wasn't going to get in trouble. And so he would like once a month, like drive up to Colorado and like bring back like a fuck ton of weed and smoke it. And it made him feel better. And so then suddenly at family events, there was just weed present. And then my cousins were doing it because now he was like, now that they were doing it, he was like, well, you guys, I know y'all are doing it. You should just do it. And then that normalized it. Now it's normal in my family. Yeah, weed's completely normal in my family. More normal than alcohol, I'd say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm the oldest, which surprises a lot of people. A lot of people say I have little brother energy.
You do have little brother energy, for sure, yeah.
Well, that was,
you have mischievous qualities.
When I was a kid, I wanted a brother like so bad, to the point that when my youngest sister was born, they asked me what we should name her, and I said brother. Yeah, and I was like 4. They were like, what should we name her? And I was like, brother. And they're like, no, look at the list of names. They let me choose, which is crazy. I'm sure that's what they told me. I'm sure that there was some other aspects to it. But I like saying that they let me choose because I do remember this. I remember like a list of names. And the name I picked was Abby. So it was like A-B. It was like probably like the 4th or 5th name on the list. And I was like, fuck it, there we go.
You didn't even read it?
That one's fine, yeah.
That's my daughter's name.
Really?
My oldest, yeah. Abigail.
Yeah, it's my sister's name, Abigail, and Olivia. Those are my siblings. And yeah. And so I really wanted a brother, and then I didn't have it. And then, but I had younger sisters. And Olivia was, me and Abby were closer because Abby was more like theatery. Like we were like the playing pretend people. Whereas Olivia was more like an athletic type. But dude, we used to have a lot of fun, dude. We remember at one point somehow we came into. It's really funny because we really had like no money growing up. But at one point we had somehow come into like having a bouncy castle just in our backyard, and I don't know why. I honestly don't remember why. We just had like this full blown like bouncy castle in our backyard, and we already had a trampoline. And so we used to invite everybody over.
All right, Richie Rich.
Dude, well, this is what I'm saying. Like, you have no idea. Like, I don't want to blow up my fucking parents' terrible financial situation online. I'll tell you later. But it was like, we did not have the money. I really don't know why we had this fucking thing. But we had it. And then so we would have these days where they would like fill it up with like, we'd fill up the bouncy castle with like soap and water so you could run and like slide into it and stuff would be all bubbly. And you could jump from the trampoline over one of the walls into it. It was so fucking chill. It was so fun, dude. And then we just used to do that all summer long.
You had such a cool childhood.
I know.
You really did.
It's crazy, dude. I lived in the game room of my house because, 3 kids, but it was only a 3-bedroom house with a big game room. And so for a little while, I had my own room. My sister shared a room, and then I moved into the game room. So by the time I was 15, I had a TV and my Xbox and PlayStation in my room. And we had a ping pong table in there. and it was busted as hell. And I put all my tech deck ramps on there. I had a lot of shit. I had a lot of shit for people that had like, it was, you know what it is that like my mom will just spend money and then my dad will just freak out about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. Like we didn't have it, but my mom would just be like, my mom would always find a way of getting these things. She's like a wizard at that, of like finding these deals and being like, well, we have to get that, you know? And so it's like somehow like, yeah, we would just come home and she'd be like, well, we have a ping pong table now. We'd be like, how? And she's like, yeah. You know, and then one day you come home and it's like, yeah, well, we have a bouncy castle. And you're like, what? Like, how? Like none of it made any sense that we had any of it, but we did. We just had shit, man.
Do your sisters have a similar relationship with your parents than you do, or is it different?
Yeah, we do. I think we're all, well, I know like we all call my dad like incessantly with our problems. Dad's who we call with problems. Mom's who we call just like to chat.
Yeah.
Because my dad's better at, my dad has a better temperament for problems.
Yeah. Mom freaks out.
My mom just gets stressed out. And so she tries to fix. And then when she can't, she just gets stressed and frustrated. And then it becomes a thing, which is coming from a place of like love and like wanting to help and just not being able to. My dad's
like this?
more
is
like,
it like if
level-headed.
If you need somebody to fix it for you, you go to mom. But if you want to learn how to fix it yourself, you go to dad. Is it kind of like that?
Dad will like help you through it. Mom is just better for just hanging out. You know, mom's like, we're gonna just have fun. My dad's like, here's the problem. But my mom too, like I said, dude, she'll just go to bat for us at any moment. So it's like, you know, but yeah, my dad is definitely the one we call when we're like fucking stressed out of our minds. He gets it all the time. He gets it the worst because I'll call him sometimes and be like, oh, Dad, there's just some bullshit going on. And then he'll be like, yeah, well, I've already heard from both your sisters today, so what's going on with you? And I'm like, you know what, Pops, take the rest of the night off. I'll figure this out. I'm a 27-year-old man at this point.
I got ChatGPT, Dad. I'm good.
I don't need to be
I'm
fucking
just gonna
calling you about all this
problem,
shit.
Dad. You crack open a cold and smoke you a bowl.
Yeah.
We stepped over your rebellious story.
Oh, yeah, we did. I forgot. So
It's probably my fault.
So whenever I was in high school, I was on the swim team for the first 3 years I was in high school. And my junior year, I was pretty checked out at that point because I had started theater my sophomore year. And I cared way more about that. That's where I met, like, literally that sophomore year, like, my best friend to this day I met in that theater class.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's like I was fully involved in this theater thing and like knew that that's what I wanted to do at that point with my life. And so I was completely checked out and just disrespectful as hell. Disrespectful as hell, dude. I mean, I was like fully rebellious. And my parents, what's cool about them is that like they didn't like my coach either. So like I would come home and they'd be like, why'd you get in trouble at swim practice today? And I'd be like, well, I didn't feel like swimming. So I didn't. Like that's the kind of stuff I would do where she'd be like, get in the water. And I'd be like, nah, I'm just going to do a dry land practice. I really don't feel like doing this today. And because, you know, just a shithead 16-year-old that's like, fuck you, you know? And it's like this poor 35-year-old sad woman is just dealing with it. But she wasn't cool, dude. She was pretty mean. And so I one day was just messing around and the captain of the team was graduating. And so I was like, hey, coach, why don't you make me captain next year? You know, like just messing around. And then she pulled me aside and was like, you should quit. She told me to quit the team.
That.
Yeah. She's like, I really think you should quit the team. And I was like, wow. Okay. I was pretty blown away by it. And so I was like, all right, yeah. And so I did. I quit. And I was like, whatever. I don't like this. Anyways. But then a few months later, I was in class and the yearbook committee came and pulled me out and were like, we want to interview you. And I was like, oh, cool. They're interviewing me for theater. And I had never gotten like interviewed in the yearbook, and like the attention seeker in me wanted to so bad. I wanted
I bet.
you know, they would do those little profile pieces and you were like, God, the kid's so fucking lucky. And so I was like, no, I need to be in this yearbook.
Also,
dude.
they pick like the lamest kids too, always.
Yeah. And it's always like, dude, fucking this kid's talking about chess club. It's like, doing theater. I'm badass. I did think I was cool for doing it too, which is hilarious. Everybody makes fun of me, but I was like, it's the coolest thing ever. I'm on stage. But So they pulled me out, and I was like, okay, they're going to talk to me about theater, and they're like, we wanted to interview you about the swim team, right?
So were they doing like an expose on the coach?
No, they didn't know I had quit. They thought I was on the team. These girls that I had been in school with since I was in kindergarten were just like, they were told to interview somebody on the swim team, and they just went, oh, we know John's on the swim team. Back then I was Johnny. I went by Johnny up until I joined theater. When I joined theater, I was like, I need a more serious name. Switched to John.
I call my son Johnny.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I was Johnny for many, many years. So like, they pulled me on. They're like, all right, Johnny, we want to interview you about the swim team. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. They don't know I quit. So they asked me, and I was just like, I just rolled with it. I like thought about telling them, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
So I did this whole thing, and then it ended. They were like, what are you most excited for about the swim team next year? And I was like, I'm really excited that coach decided to make me captain of the swim team for next year. And they were like, great, that's good. Thank you. And they left, and like, I forgot about it. Months later, the yearbook came out, and they had fully printed it like on the swim. It was like a big part of the swim team page was like a picture of me being, and it literally said "Ahoy Captain" above my picture. And I remember I went to my swim coach's classroom, and I like peeped in, and I was like, "Hey, coach, you see the yearbook?" And she was like, "That wasn't funny." And I was like, "Yeah, it was." And then I left.
You kidding me? That ripped.
Yeah, and my parents were really proud of me. They told me, my dad told me, he was like, I was really like years later, he was like, I was so proud of you for doing that one.
That's awesome.
Like, she was awful.
Dude,
yeah, I mean,
awesome.
other than that, dude, I had like 2 run-ins with the cops when I was in high school, but they were never really like that big of a deal. Like one time, me and my friends were out at like 4 a.m, and we had started by ding dong ditching, but then one of my friends had the genius idea. He goes, if we bang on the garage doors, it'll be a lot louder. So we were just going around banging on garage doors, and eventually the cops got called because we did it to like 30 houses, and then they tracked us down, and it's like 4 a.m, and there's like 6 of us, and they like have us line up against a fence. This is actually really fun because this involves my parents. This is a good story. So they line us up against the fence. It was really funny. They started talking to us, and they're like, "Does anybody have weed, or does anybody smoke weed?" And one of my friends who had been to juvie earlier, like a year earlier, or like military school, and house arrest was what he got because him and another kid in this group did a bomb threat in middle school to get an extra day off from spring break. But they did it on a Thursday, thinking they would cancel Friday, and they didn't cancel Friday, so then they came in and got arrested. But that's a lot. But
Say that. Hold on. Break that down again.
Okay, so when I was in 8th grade, some of my friends that I've been friends with since I was like in 2nd grade had started smoking weed, and they thought they were really cool. They were like thought they were the shit.
Yeah.
And they were real rebellious. And so they had this epic plan, and they didn't tell any of us this. We found out the same time as everybody else when they got arrested. They had this epic plan that they were like, we're going to do a bomb threat because then we can get out of school today, and then we'll have an extra day off from spring break because they're obviously going to cancel school the next day too. We're good to go. And so that day, they did it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
We were pulled out onto the thing. There was a bomb threat received. The bomb squad came in, checked everything. It was a big deal. And then we got to go home early. And, you know, one of my friends had been walking around, and there was this one weird kid in our school, and he was just convincing everybody that it was the weird kid, that he'd heard the weird kid talking about doing it. And
he framed the weird kid?
For like 6 hours. He got caught quick because they told one other dude, and that dude ratted so fast.
Oh.
But so then the thing is, they truly, in their fucking brilliantly stupid minds, 13-year-old minds, thought they're definitely going to cancel school tomorrow, right? They did not cancel school the next day because why would they? There was no bomb.
Yeah.
They cleared it up. And so we all came into school on Friday, and they walked in the doors and got arrested. And were taken away, and their spring break was ruined, and ours was fun. But and that started a tradition. They the next 3 years, kids did bomb threats at Henry Middle School. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but so then I was hanging
like
out with these kids.
prank. Hey, there's C4 in the corridor.
So I was hanging out with these kids my freshman year. I hadn't really found where I fit in high school yet. And so I was hanging out with these kids, and we went and we were banging on garage doors because that's what these kids come up with, right? And granted, it was so fun, super fun. People were coming out of their house screaming at us and stuff. We were running away. We were having the time of our lives. And we get pulled over, and so they're talking to us, and they ask all the kids, like, does anybody have weed? And for whatever reason, one of the kids that did the bomb threat, his name was Jacob. He said, he goes, I don't have any on me, but I do smoke weed. And we were like, why would you say that? And he goes, I just want to be honest. I want to form an honest relationship with the police. Because he's like, had just been through this like whole law system or whatever. And so the cops are like, okay, kid, whatever. They're annoyed and they're just like talking to us. And they're like, we have reports of 6 teenage boys banging on garage doors in this neighborhood. And we were like, well, we didn't do that. And they go, kids, how many groups of 6 teenage boys do you think are running around at 4 a.m. in Cedar Park? And we were like, all right, you got us. It was us the whole time. Big surprise.
It didn't take much to tear that story apart.
No, I mean they got us immediately. And so
what you're saying is you weren't a criminal mastermind.
Not at all. We were just happy to be there. we hadn't thought any of this through.
Just like mom, you're a good hang, dude.
So yeah, absolutely, dude. And so this is where the story turns into the parents thing. So they're like, all right, well, we're not like, there's nothing we can really do other than tell y'all to not do this. It's like, we can't arrest you. There's nothing to arrest you on. We're not going to write you tickets, like you're.
They could get you a disorderly conduct if they wanted to.
Yeah, but they get it. We're 14, 14-year-old boys. It's like, they're just like, you guys are idiots. You're just having fun.
Just dipshits.
And you're just like, you didn't hurt anybody. You just like fucking probably freaked a couple people out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's whatever. And I mean, it's not like anybody like didn't know what was going on. We're cackling, running away from these houses.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I need you guys to call your parents to come pick you up. And me at 14, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in so much trouble. So I like, they're like, call your parents. And so I tried calling my mom first. That's the other thing. If you're in trouble, you call mom first.
Call mom first, yeah.
You call mom first. Mom is going to be upset, but she's also going to be the one that's like, it's going to be okay, you're okay, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's not the case for me. For me, I call the bail bondsman first.
Yeah.
and then I call Tammy.
No, you call mom. You call mom first because mom is just on your side.
Yeah,
so
she's got your back.
Call mom, doesn't answer.
Oh no,
does not answer the phone, and they go, okay, we'll call her again. I say okay, so I try, doesn't answer. Remember, it's 4 a.m. on like a work night for my parents, and so I had 2 of these friends were sleeping over at my house. And that's why we were all out. We met up with other kids that were in this neighborhood. And so they were like, all right, we'll call your dad. So I call my dad, and he answers. And
oh, no.
And he goes, John, I have to be up for work in an hour and a half. Why are you calling me right now? Why are you calling me? And I go, well, Dad, I'm here right now with the put. And he goes, I don't care who you're with right now. He goes, I have to be up soon. Don't call me again. Hangs up the phone. And so then I go, he hung up on me. And they're like, we'll call him again. And so I go, okay. And I call him again, hangs up on the first ring. And so I'm like, guys, he's not going to answer. And they go, all right, well, how'd you get here? We go, we rode our bikes. And they go, get out of here. Send us home. I didn't tell my parents about that for 6 years.
You never got police out of your mouth. He interrupted you the second you were going to say police.
He interrupted me the second. And I'm glad he did, because it would have fucking ruined his whole day. I mean, I would have been in so much trouble. Because he would have been like, you fucking idiot. And like, now you're waking me up. All it would have done is wake him up early enough to just come pick us up, take us home, and then go to work. And so
he would have lost an hour or two of sleep.
And then I didn't tell him for 6 years. And then that was one of my 2 run. The other run-in also happened walking around late at night, and it was after a night of playing D&D with my friends. And the cops were questioning us, asking if we were doing anything suspicious. And I was like, no, we were just playing Dungeons and Dragons. And then they made fun of us for being nerds.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You have the right to remain nerdy.
Yeah. They fully were like absolutely ripping into us for being dorks. Well, at like 5 a.m.
We always close this up, and I'm excited to hear what you say, because judging by everything you said on this pod so far, it's like you had a great trusting relationship with your parents. There was a lot of love. There was a lot of understanding. And if you had one piece of parenting advice to give to everybody raising kids right now, based on your own childhood and what your parents did for you, what would you tell other parents?
Just support what they want to do. That's what my parents have always done. just fully support us in anything we want to do. And so that's why we all get to do what we want to do. My parents still support me actively. You know, they like to come to shows. They like to do everything. Like I said, they're going to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and that is helpful, especially because, like I said, man, you know, having good parents, you know, it's funny, you get loved and treated well. Most of the world won't do that. So it's like, at least be somebody that they have. Everybody needs somebody to do that, right?
Everybody needs somebody to love them, man. And everybody needs somebody to understand and support. And
pretty much your only job.
Yeah.
Is to love and support them. So yeah, just be supportive. And don't be a dick. And don't hit them. That's a good advice too, right?
It depends on the kid. Some kids just some people need to be slapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I'm sure that starts early.
Let them become people. Let them become people, and then other people can hit them.
Yeah, but you gotta slap them while they're. I'm getting. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. All right. Hey, Tammy's boys, girls. Thank you so much for tuning in for another fun-filled episode of Tammy's Boy. You keep doing what you do, liking, subscribing, and the thing that we need you to do, and we'll keep doing what we're trying to do, but make this the best podcast in the whole damn world. Thank you guys so much. That's been John Hoeft. That's Cole Garrett. I'm Jon Carden. Appreciate you guys.
Each family brings joy. It's a childhood destroyed. Hey, it's Tammy's boy. Is your mama alive? Did your daddy make you cry?